Said if I could turn back the hands of time, that's what you need to ask God to do. You can't find Genesis. Go back to when you was 5 years old, amen. We're going to be in Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. I think I scared a few people this morning. I was sitting in the chair, and when I stood up, I said, man, who is John? I said, is somebody in here married to John? No, I ain't married to him. He my boyfriend, though. And I just said, oh, Father, help me. So I ministered to the lady. And I said, are you scared? No, I ain't scared. So after church, he had to come up to me and say, Prophet, I'm sorry, I was scared. I said, I know you was. I saw your whole facial expression. What am I saying? I'm saying that the anointing is on my life to be able to do that. And if you even think the wrong way, come on, I'll catch it in the spirit. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. If I can get somebody sanctified to read it for me, y'all would help me out so very, very much tonight. I am very comical as well. It don't matter who read it, just as long as somebody read it. Ready whenever you are.
And the earth was without form and void.
It was what?
Without form and void.
Without form and void.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Darkness was over the face of the deep.
And the Spirit of God moved upon
Stop.
the face.
And the Spirit of what?
God.
Everybody say God.
God.
He did what?
Moved upon the face of the water.
Moved upon the face of the waters.
And God said,
he said what?
Let there be light.
I don't want no more. I don't need nothing else. So go. Just for a few minutes, let me talk to you about everything you need is in the water.
Amen. Amen.
Everything you need is in the water. You listen, if you're standing, you may be seated. It says, in the beginning, everybody shout, in the beginning.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, when you think about beginning has to do with that there is always a start. Somebody says always a start.
It's always a start.
In the beginning, when God spoke, he had to have a conversation in order to speak these things for them to come to pass. Amen. If God would not have spoke, then it would not have happened. Amen. But God says, let there be light. And there was light. But what I want to say to you is, while I come out of the gate, is everything begins and everything has a start. All right now. Everything has a start and everything has an end. So cool. If you pay attention, every day you get up, something is always new. Come on. If a husband and a wife is living together, he could be in one room, and he could come in there, and then he starts a conversation which someone says it's the beginning of a conversation. Now, if this man leaves out of the room, when he comes back, guess what? He begins a conversation again. Amen. So everything has a beginning. Amen. Which leads me to my first point, where is you have to consider God. Somebody say consider God. Consider God. You have to consider God, because God is the one who knows all. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. He's omnipotent. He's sovereign. He's El Shaddai. He's Jehovah Gabor. I don't have to go through all the names. I dare not insult your intelligence, but you know who God is. And you have to consider God in everything that you do, because Hebrews 12:1 says that he is what? The author and the finisher of our faith. So that means that God has to begin, and God, there is an ending. Where he starts, he will soon enough end. And so that's simply what it's saying, that he is the author and the finisher finisher of our faith. You have to consider God in everything that you do. He said, because the earth was out without form or void, but it says when his spirit hovered over the water, then there was a reflection that took place. And when God sees his reflection, then that means everything that he hovers over is good, because it said that his spirit hovers over the water. So that means if his spirit hovers over the water, then his spirit should hover over you, because we should see his reflection in you. So we should consider God in everything that we do. And we should consider God in every conversation that takes place. We should consider God in every thought that takes place. We should consider God in every plan that takes place. Y'all not talking back to me. We should consider God in every single thing that we do, because his ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts, but his thoughts are the best thoughts, because he knows everything. And it's something about that when we begin to think, or when we begin to put our own plan in place, we begin to make mistakes. But it's something about when you let the spirit hover over you, that is something about when things begin to take place, things begin to fall in line, things begin to come decent and in order, because in everything God is decent and in order, because the Bible declares that in everything, it's in him that we live, it's in him that we move, it's in him that we have our being, meaning that we cannot do nothing without God, because God is everything. He's everything you need, because Thessalonians 5:18, it says in all things give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. You cannot do nothing without God, because his word declares that where he sends his word, it will accomplish to where he sent it, and it won't return it to him void. Here it is that the earth is without form or void, but when the spirit hovered over the water, and when God began to speak, he said, let there be light. And when there was light, there it took place. Now there is something about when it says that God is not a man that he shall lie, not the son of man that he shall repent. But when he speaks a thing, it has to come to pass. And so we should consider God in everything that we do, knowing that the author and the finisher of our faith will create everything. And this brings me to my second point. Which means that God is creating. He's a creator. Notice that it says that he created in verse 2. When you think about create, God is the potter. We are the clay. God always makes everything good. But it's something about a potter, or it's something about a person, or it's something about a man who can take your good, who can take your bad. Y'all not talking to me in here. He can take your good. He can take the bad. He can take the ugly. He can take the imperfection. He can take the perfection. He can take the broken, and he can put it all together. I have scripture to back it up, because Romans 8:28 says, for all things work together for the good. What do you mean, prophet? When you say all things work together, y'all know that old restaurant show. Listen, when I was a little boy, my grandma, she raised me, and they used to watch on DirecTV. It was channel 529. It was the Western channel, and good God Almighty, I couldn't stand the Western channel, because it seemed like they left it on there all day. And they used to have this man by the name of Clint Eastwood, and they used to have a man by the name of Matt Dillon and Rifleman. Am I talking to somebody in here that know about them shows? But listen, it was one show that came in there. It was one movie, and it was called The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. And that's simply what it's saying in Romans 28. When it says all things, he takes the good, the bad, the ugly, the imperfections, and he puts it all in one bowl, and he mixes it up. And you can finish the rest of the scripture, because he says, after he takes all things, he said they'll work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Hold on, wait a minute. And you have to love the Lord in order for this to work together. Because if you don't love the Lord, then obviously the scripture has to come true. Then obviously it won't come together. Because he said you can't serve two masters. You gotta either hate me and love the enemy, or hate the enemy and love God. But when you love God, then all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord, that are called according to his will and to his purpose. You have to be called according to his will and to his purpose. Everybody in here has a purpose, and everybody, there is a will in here for everybody's life. Now whether you do it or not, that's on you. But let me say, notice, feet right now. See, I told you I could see. And you didn't think I was going to see the cords on the side of your feet. But you worked all day, and then you come home, and then you got to deal with hell in the house. The children ain't acting right. That stubborn Negro that been at home all day, he ain't washed no dishes. He ain't took out the trash. Hold on, wait a minute. Me and y'all that worked all day, you come home, your pants ripped, you got black stuff on your clothes, look like you done went and jumped in a pile full of charcoal. You done came home, she ain't cooked, she ain't clean, and you walking through the door saying, Lord have mercy. But see, there's a will in your life. But when you don't do the will of God, you find out that you will pay. But it's something about when you do the will of God, it doesn't matter what your situation looks like. You know that when you put it in the hands of the Creator, He is going to take your bad, He is going to take your ugly, and everything that you need, He's going to put it in a mixing bowl and add a little water, and He's going to hover His Spirit over it, and everything that don't look good is going to turn out for your good. It does not matter what you're going through, because God says that I hold all power in my hands. That's why He gave you the keys into the earth. He says you have the keys to the kingdom, and whatever you bind, I'll bind, and whatever you loose, that I shall loose. And see, that's a bad man. That's a bad man when God is so God that He can take your ugly, He can take your broke and your imperfections and turn it into good. That's a bad man. That's a bad man when he can hover over water and speak to something that's not even there and cause it to happen. God is so God that before you take a picture, when you take a picture, you thinking you taking a picture in the now, but by the time you get here, He's already went, and now it's dead. God is so God that He can take a cow and put black spots on it and make milk come out of it. God is so God that a cow can eat